I'm Tony Burke from the Department of Property and Construction in the Faculty of Architecture and the Built Environment. For a few years now, I've been using Google Docs as a tool to engage students, mainly in small classes and seminars. Google Docs is essentially a web-based word processing application that's part of the Google Drive suite. So in essence, it's just a cloud-based word processor that allows you to create and edit documents. You need a Google account, but as everyone at the university automatically has a Google account, it's readily accessible to all staff and students. Now, obviously, word processing has been around for decades, so you're probably thinking, what's the big deal with Google Docs? Well, I think there's several things about Google Docs that make it ideal for use with students. Firstly, because it's cloud-based, there's no need for students to download anything before they use it, and no need to upload anything to store your work afterwards. Secondly, because you're working in the cloud, everything is automatically saved as you input it. Thirdly, it works on any device, so whether you're using a laptop or an iPad, an Android tablet, or even a smartphone, students can bring their own devices to class and are able to participate. Fourthly, and I think this is the really cool thing about Google Docs, it allows for collaboration simultaneously by multiple students working on a single document. So it means that several students can work together and they can all input to the same document at the same time. So the way I use it is normally in small group exercises. So if, for example, I wanted students to work in, say, groups of 4 or 5 on a case study exercise, then I would prepare a Google Doc which contained all of the information about the case study and all of the issues that I wanted the students to consider. So I'll make multiple copies of the Google Doc for however many groups I think I'll need. I then make sure that the Google Doc is shared with anyone at the university who has the link. I then copy the link and I embed that link in Blackboard as a web link. So in the classroom, what I then do is I ask students to form themselves into groups and I allocate a group number to each of the groups. I then ask students to make sure that they're logged into Google Docs or their Google account. I then ask them to go into Blackboard on their devices and access the respective document for their group. The students can then discuss the case study exercise and all members of each group can then input individually or collectively into the document, whether it's text or images or even links to other resources. I can obviously circulate around the groups as I would normally, but at the same time I can also see all of the Google Docs on my own device, so I can very quickly identify whether there are any groups who are struggling and perhaps need some more help. If we're going to have a plenary session at the end of the exercise, then I can, if necessary, display any of the individual Google Docs on the screen, and that can be useful to show the whole class images or resources which some groups may have identified. After the class exercise is over, the documents are stored in the cloud, so if they want to, students can continue to contribute to and edit the document even though the class exercise is finished. It also means that they've got access to the document if they want to refer to it at any time in the future. Now, I've found that when I've used this approach in class exercises, that students seem to engage more than they used to with the equivalent paper-based exercises. I think students like the fact that they can all contribute to the document at the same time, and I also think that they like the fact that they can access the document after the exercise is over. So in summary, I think this is a very effective way of using a really simple tool which everyone understands. Increasingly in the workplace, tools like Google Docs are being used for collaboration. It's a very effective way of ensuring there's good version control over documents because rather than circulating newly created versions of a word processed document each time a new one is produced, it means that everyone is working on the same document. So getting students used to the idea that they can all contribute to a document simultaneously, that everything is stored in one central place in the cloud, I think is a very effective way of increasing their employability skills. So 3 words to describe my experience of using Google Docs. It's simple, it's effective, and it's accessible.